Hi everyone, welcome to our daily blog together and this new chapter that we're going to look at as we journey up towards Lent. And Ash Wednesday is coming up on Wednesday, and we'll be doing a live stream service at 10:30, so please join us if you'd like to, so that we can begin Lent together. We're going to be looking over these next few weeks at the work of a gentleman called Rowan Williams, who's the retired Archbishop of Canterbury, and he's written a book called Candles in the Dark, looking for faith, hope and love during these challenging times. So I hope you enjoy this over the next few weeks as we look at this work. We're going to begin today with looking at what Lent can be about, and can we find the little changes that actually sow the seeds of hope for the future. When we talk about Lent, often people talk to me about what they're going to give up this year. Some people are going to give up chocolate, some people are going to give up a bottle of wine, some people are going to maybe have a meal without meat in it once a week, or other different things that somehow help them to recognise they're doing something different, and also to just tighten the belts a little bit during this time of Lent. But for others, this whole year has been a period of Lent. Some people have described the pain and the struggle and the waiting that they've gone through has been very much like Lent, but on a almost a global scale and for a whole year. Where do we find those seeds of hope and of love and of faith during this time? Sometimes we can look for like oak trees that we can hold on to and hold fast to. But what about, where did those oak trees come from? Maybe they came from little acorns. And sometimes it's only when we look back that we can see where the acorns were sown. But can we find during this time of Lent those acorns in this time, at this moment, so that God, we may see, is already sowing the seeds of a new world amongst us? When we look at the Bible, we find God really does do this very often. If we look at the very simple act of Pharaoh's daughter taking Moses into her family as a great act of compassion, perhaps she had no idea that later on it was going to be the same Moses who was going to lead a people from slavery to freedom, and then go up the mountain and meet with God and bring back the 10 Commandments and so much of the Old Testament. Or if we look at a lady called Hannah, who just faithfully went into the temple to pray and was blessed with having her son Samuel. That Samuel was then to grow up to become Israel's first prophet, and was later to anoint a king, King David, himself on a journey from acorn to being an oak tree, as he influenced not only Israel but so much of how we understand the Messiah to be. And of course, if we look at Mary herself, on that day when she met the angel Gabriel, being willing to say yes to God, her yes was later, 9 months later, to give birth to Jesus, and Jesus, the person who has changed this world more than any other person for all time, for good, and who is also the Messiah and Saviour of the world. Little did she know, maybe, that her yes would actually have such an impact that day. In all these things, it's easy to look back, but can we see those seeds of acorns that God is sowing before and during as well, and that He's doing that right now in our day? We can see all the problems, but can we see the seeds of hope? And what would that look like? Just a couple of things come to mind to me as I reflect over this last year of how we've needed to be church. With all the technology, a year ago I would have been quite frightened by it all. I still am, to be honest. But on the other hand, I do see also the potential of how much it can bring, not least this daily blog, but the history and the understanding of the places where Jesus lived and walked and talked, and the diversity in music and worship. But also for many people, the way the planet has come to be very central to their lives. People have got much more in touch with creation around them running their own allotment or in their gardens, but also the wider planet issues are no longer just something that is on the side for most people. It's now front and centre. And of course, maybe from that, we've also got the way human beings are interconnected. A few years ago, we were very much more into tribalism, whereas young people particularly now are talking about a new world that needs people to be working together across many disciplines, not just whether science or religion, but can science and religion work together for the good of all? These are some of the challenges, but also the seeds of hope that I believe God is sowing in our very midst. I wonder what that might look like for you today, not just on a global scale, but in our own individual lives. Can we just pause and reflect that God may well be sowing those seeds of hope within us and within us as a church community as we journey through this Lent?